Hey, Phil Doherty. I just wanted to say, thanks for listening. This is Waves, a podcast from APTA Michigan. I'm Andy Wicks. If you're like me, you had a very limited understanding of what physical therapists actually did when you entered graduate school. Thankfully, I had a much better idea by the time I finished, though I'm continuing to learn all these years later. Today's episode is a great example. Jordyn Bowman is a third-year student physical therapist at Grand Valley State University in Grand Rapids, Michigan. She tells us about how she turned a personal tragedy into an opportunity to help others and get a glimpse of what we as PTs can really do for our communities.
I'm Jordyn Bowman. I'm a third-year PT student at Grand Valley. Just finished my third clinical, so it's getting real.
Congrats.
Real fast,
Yeah, I can't wait to hear about that.
Yes, it was a great experience, and yeah, I'm enjoying my last year. I can't believe it's almost over. It went so quick.
We invited you on for a couple reasons. One, I figured that as one of your professors, I could hold it over you and say, you needed to be on the podcast to pass. No, I'm kidding. I know. I didn't really do that.
I felt very pressured.
She probably thinks that, though. She's been this is a coerced interview.
Oh, boy. Off to a
Jordyn,
great
your
start.
grade is not at stake. You can still graduate. It's
Like I said,
not
I'm
too
going to
late.
edit the bejesus out of this thing. No, I wanted to talk with you, Jordyn, about the fact that you were the recipient, one of the recipients or the recipient?
The recipient.
The recipient of the Solstice Foundation Scholarship. We have talked to Steve Leopard, one of the founders of the Solstice Foundation, on this podcast. He is a friend of the show, but the Solstice Foundation gives these scholarships out to PT students every year. And Jordyn, you were selected as the winner. So tell us a little bit about the process, how you found out about it, why you applied, and how we got here.
Yeah, so Steve and the team, the Solstice Scholarship team, came to one of our classes, and I think it was actually on Zoom, but they did a presentation about what the scholarship was and why they were passionate about doing it and helping students fuel their passions. So after that little part of class, that was the beginning of class, wow, that's really cool, and that's just a really meaningful thing that they're doing with their time, and I was kind of struck by it. And then I was, well, I don't really have anything, because some of the examples they were using were people who are in wheelchairs and they can't run, and then someone that they knew would run for them in a race, or someone's family member passed from cancer, and I don't know. So examples like that they were showing that previous winners have had. And I was like, I don't really have anything like that in my life, thankfully, but I don't know what I would do for the scholarship. And so I just kind of put it off. And then I was thinking about it over time, and I was like, well, I actually have something in my life that's impacting me in a different way. And substance abuse is something that has impacted my personal life and my best friend's life. So I was like, I'm just going to do a little research and see what I find, see what organizations in Grand Rapids are targeting this and who can I benefit. So I got online and I just did a little research, and I found Guiding Light, and they captivated me right away because they were helping people for free. It was a no-cost addiction center, and they were just very welcoming, and I watched all their promo videos online. I was like, I want to know everything I can about this place before I go for it.
Yeah.
So I just did a ton of research on them. I loved their mission. They're a faith-based organization, and that was something that was meaningful to me as well. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm just going to go for it and see what happens. So so then I applied with my idea to the Solstice Scholarship. I did an interview with them, and so then they gave me the money for it to support them. So that was cool. So
yeah, and to clarify for people listening, that Solstice Foundation, when they award this, they award the money to be given to an organization in the name of the recipient for them to use this money to pay it forward, essentially. And you chose Guiding Light Mission here in Grand Rapids. So yes, so keep going.
Yeah, it was cool. We really love your idea, and we want to support you. My idea was to give them the money. I want to do something with running, because I looked up online of how exercise and activity was incorporated into their recovery program.
Oh, really?
And they had so many of their men running in local 5Ks all over Grand Rapids, and they had like a news posting about
That's
it.
cool.
And I was, that's so cool that they're using exercise, because obviously that's our whole thing as PTs.
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool that they're
Mhm.
doing that. So then I was just doing research, and I think it would be cool for them to do a 5K to raise awareness about addiction, because it's everywhere, and to get people out there moving and using that to help aid in their recovery. So then once I got the money for Guiding Light, I reached out to them and I was like, "Hey, I have random money to give you guys." And that was kind of a weird thing
I'm
to
sure that
do.
was a fun conversation.
Yeah.
It was so random. I called the front desk and, like, who do I talk to about giving a good chunk of cash to?
That probably happens more often than you think, but still,
It
not
was
a
just
conversation you have every day, that's for sure.
no, it was just so random. But yeah, so then they connected me with the right people. I got in contact with the community relations person.
Mhm.
And then they were like, "Actually, we love that idea, and we did a 5K last year."
Oh,
So
nice.
that was kind of funny because my idea, so this time around, I was, well, I'll support you any way I can. I'm going to participate. I'm going to get people there. I'll advertise it. How I
Nice.
can help you, I will help you. And then
Nice.
obviously I ran in it too.
So you had the 5K at Millennium Park, correct?
Yes.
So tell us about the event.
So the event was, well, first of all, it was on the hottest day in October.
Of course.
You don't expect an October race to be hot.
Yeah, that's peak running time. It's perfect.
I
Usually.
know. That's the whole reason why we did it in October, because this is great time for running
Exactly.
and sweating. So much sweating. But so it was under the pavilion. They had reps from Pine Rest there, and then a couple other representatives with just information and tables. There was a registration table. Everyone who registered got a little swag bag,
Nice.
which that was
Cool.
fun. And
Swag is always good.
I know I'm repping the swag now.
Isn't that why people sign up for 5Ks usually? For the swag?
Hmm.
Totally.
I say as someone who's never run a 5K.
You've never run a 5K, Andy?
No.
You don't do the wheel run?
I haven't done the wheel run. I could wheel. I can't run. I could
She just
wheel.
outed you, Andy.
Yeah, thanks, Catherine. Boy, oh boy.
So
And this will be Catherine's
Jordan,
last
I was
episode
the
with Wave, so thank you for joining us.
I was the race director for the real wheel run when I was in PT school at Grand Valley. So organizing 5Ks and stuff is close to my heart.
Fun stuff. It was a good time. It was a great turnout. There was a ton of people there.
Nice.
Which was awesome. And yeah, it was, I couldn't have asked for a better day and a better situation. And
That's fantastic. And how did you do in the
Nice.
5K?
I walked and ran it. I won't
You finished
lie.
it. You finished it. Yeah.
I started off strong. I was running, and then, oh boy, I need to take a break.
I sprinted the first 100 yards and then it kind of coasted from there.
Yeah, I had to.
It's okay. You've still done better than Andy has ever done. So
Yeah, you see what I got to deal with, Jordan?
You know
Every episode, it's this.
She's not wrong, though.
Episode.
people
Ouch!
come for the banter. People come for the banter.
She keeps his views in this show, okay? This band.
Yeah, it's they're not coming for me, I'll tell you that much. So, Jordan, I guess just I want to hear your perspective because you are still a PT student, and we're fortunate as PT programs in Michigan because Steve Leppard and the Solstice Foundation take this program to several programs here in Michigan to offer this opportunity. It's not just for Grand Valley, but just from your perspective as a PT student and getting involved in this way, how has it informed or shaped how you see this future career of yours? I want to hear how it's shaped you going forward.
Yeah, I feel having this opportunity and being able to spread awareness about something that's passionate to me has just made me realize there's so many ways I can take PT in the future. I can truly advocate for my future patients, and I'm going to be treating people who are dealing with this all the time.
Yep.
And I think it's just really made me excited. I can have a leadership position as a PT and I can help raise awareness about this. I never really thought that would be possible with this profession. So I'm really thankful. I feel I have been really blessed with this opportunity. So it's been cool, and I'm excited to use my voice as a PT in the future.
Yeah.
So
Not too long. Not
I
too
know.
long.
That's so cool.
That's very cool.
I think that the PT in Motion magazine just had, that was their cover story, maybe a month or two ago, was about physical therapy in addiction care.
Oh, really?
I'll
have to find that and link to that.
A lot of people fall into an addiction because of pain, either initially physical pain or mental pain. And
the opioid crisis is something that the physical therapy profession has taken a pretty strong and public stance on.
Mm-hmm.
That's an easy avenue for PTs to get involved in that, because that chronic pain, that fits right into our wheelhouse for sure.
Totally.
But it is interesting to look at it, Jordyn, from this perspective of folks who are largely in this underserved, underhoused population that doesn't typically have access to PT.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a service that is probably high on their list of priorities. It's more things, food, shelter, things like that. So to be involved in that space and just to get that exposure is, it's fantastic. I applaud you for it. That's really, really cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's a really good cause.
I'm feeling really passionate about it, because I've seen how destructive it can be for people. And I just know there's so much better for people. And PT is, to me, it's so holistic, and we have such a unique opportunity to help people, and we see them consistently, and sometimes we're the only person that will listen to them. And so using those skills is so beneficial, because people who struggle with addiction, sometimes they feel super alone, or they have no one who will listen to them. And like you were saying, all those things, the physical pain, the mental pain, they all contribute to why people choose to use substances. We just have a really cool and unique opportunity as healthcare providers to help them. And so I feel like it's cool. And like I said, I never realized that I could use my profession to help people with this. So it's been really eye-opening.
Jordyn, you're warming the cockles of my heart. I love to hear this. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit. You're in the midst of your third year. You said you just finished your third clinical rotation. Tell us all about it.
Yes, it was quite literally the best experience. Which,
dang, you've had a big fall.
That's awesome.
I know. I've been so busy. Truthfully, I've been all over the place.
What was the setting you were in?
I was an outpatient neuro.
Okay.
It was the greatest experience. I couldn't have asked for better. CI.
That's great.
I learned a ton. I worked with a lot of patients with spinal cord injuries, and a ton of patients with brain injuries and MS, Parkinson's, and
wow.
I learned a ton, felt like a sponge the whole time. So
yay. That's awesome.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you had a good experience.
Thanks. You have another rotation coming up, or have you started that already?
No, I start on Monday.
Ooh, so what setting is your next one?
Outpatient ortho, and it's manual focused.
Ooh, so that'd be quite the shift, but it'll be good to kind of brush off those skills a little bit and make sure that you haven't forgotten everything you learned in first year. So
yeah, I know. I'm like, oh boy, my brain's gonna have to go back to first semester and, like you said, dust that off. But it'll be good. I need to definitely get more proficient in those skills, so it'll be good.
I happened to walk, so both of you will appreciate this as Grand Valley alums, as I was walking through the lab, and I walked through Dr. Shoemaker's cardiopulm lab, and I saw what he had on the screen for the lab, and I had a blank stare come across my face because I understood none of it, because my cardiopulm education in school was not nearly to the level of what he provides. So I was I'm glad someone else is good at this and not me, because I would struggle in his class.
Cardiopulm's intense.
Cardiopulm is intense. You got to be sharp to be a cardiopulm therapist, which is why I'm not.
Everything informs everything.
Everything
you have to know it all.
As Jordyn said, this is a holistic profession.
It is.
We treat the whole person. We don't treat a diagnosis.
Yes, and in all seriousness, though, I'm sure what you learned at both of these clinicals is going to inform what you do when you're working in any setting after you graduate.
Yeah, totally. I actually was going to bounce off what you were saying, because I realized that all of the skills in my brain, learning it in school. I was like, okay, this is neuro information. This is ortho information. This is cardiopulmonary information. I had little buckets for everything.
Yeah.
And when you're in the clinic, it's like, wow, I actually need to use all of these skills,
Yeah.
which seems obvious, but then until you're doing it, it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Then you get a total knee evaluation who also has Parkinson's and a venous insufficiency wound. And
you're like, what is going on? All my buckets are
diabetic
combining.
neuropathy and
yeah.
my gosh. Yeah. It all comes crashing back to you.
That's been cool though, because I've been able to kind of bring the pieces of the puzzle together where I'm like, oh, okay, I see why we learned this.
A lot of light bulb moments, huh?
So many light bulb moments. And I'm like, okay, this is all adding up. I get it now.
Yay. I feel like we need to have you come back and talk to the second years because midterms are next week and they're freaking out a little bit. I think they need someone to just come in and be like, it's worth it. Trust me. It makes so much more sense next year.
I'll be their hype man.
They need it big time right now. They need it big time.
Neuro semester is tough, so.
I know.
But if this is encouraging to any second year student in neuro right now, so many of the things we learned, I saw in the clinic. Like,
say it again.
So many things I learned, I saw in the clinic, and it's like, for real, we have a good program for that. So
you're very kind to say that. Oh man. Jordyn, this is so cool. I'm so happy to hear about the success of the 5K endeavor, the experience that this has been. I wish I should have invited Steve to be on this call too, because I feel like Steve would just be grinning from ear to ear hearing you talk about it. This is why he does it, for these kinds of experiences and to get this kind of growth in the profession, but to show we're more than just treating patients in the clinic. We're more than that.
Jordyn, are they doing the 5K again next year?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't followed up with them since the 5K was like super chaotic and we just needed a hush moment, but I would assume so. It was a really big success and they had more people come this time than the first time. So,
are they naming it after you?
I wish. The Bowman.
I mean, that might require a larger donation than what we were able to provide, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Maybe someday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. Maybe I'll make my own branch and have my own
That's so cool. So before we wrap things up, we are very pro soapbox on this podcast. So you also bring a unique perspective because we don't get a lot of students on here. Are there any soapboxes that you as a student physical therapist have that you would like to climb upon and rant?
Oh boy.
You don't have to. This is just This is providing the invitation.
Well, let me just say I'm honored to be a student on this podcast. I feel like so cool, and I didn't realize how cool it was until you were like, hey, I want you on the podcast. Like, wow, so cool. I don't know. I'm not a huge ranter, I feel like.
I mean, I wouldn't have pegged you for a big ranter, but I don't know. I mean, you never know. There might be that one thing that's been just eating at you.
I guess from when you started PT school to now, what's been the biggest surprise?
Ooh, that's a good one.
For you. You didn't expect.
Something I didn't expect curriculum-wise with the program.
I mean, I'm sure you didn't expect to be putting together a 5K.
For sure I didn't. No, that's a good point. I was like...
So, yeah, some part of either the academic side of it or just the whole experience. From everything from just the social aspect with your classmates to whatever that really you didn't expect.
Honestly, I didn't expect to learn. My perception of physical therapy before I got into school was outpatient ortho. And I did a ton of observation, but I did it in outpatient ortho.
Yep.
And I didn't expect to learn all the other branches of it, like neuro, cardiopulmonary. I didn't even know that we were so versatile. So I think that is something which is cool because we were kind of talking about that earlier, how we're super versatile, but that is something that I learned throughout school is we can just be utilized in so many different ways. And I feel really encouraged by that because I never have to be pigeonholed. I can do a bunch of different things with my profession.
That's true.
You can make your own pigeonhole.
Exactly. My own branch. I could have a whole clinic with substance abuse PT. I don't know.
I mean, it's a
You
need.
could.
It's a need.
It's a
Holy
big
cow.
need.
You never know. Watch out, guys.
Man, you could
It's
be
a
the
big
guru.
need.
You could be the guru, Jordyn.
I don't know if I have
The people will be coming to you for answers on how do we make this work in this population. You're like, hey, listen, it's not that hard. Let's just do it.
It's not that hard. Just create a 5K. We'll figure it out.
5Ks will solve all of the world's problems.
I've had a lot of personal growth in PT school of just accepting uncomfortable moments, and I felt very perfectionist as an undergrad student, and
Yep.
I just feel being in PT school, you can't be a perfectionist, and it's made me more type B, I feel.
Yeah. The neuro semester tends to do that, I think, to a lot of people as well.
Mhm.
I hate to use the phrase, you got to lower your standards, but you just got to, I think you said it well. You have to be okay being uncomfortable and just not necessarily having all the answers.
Mm-hmm. And that's definitely refreshing to be like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm just gonna work through it. And I feel like PT school has taught me that a lot. And something that sticks out to me, the first day of PT school orientation, one of our faculty was like, "You're gonna have so much grit after this program." But you probably know who I'm talking about, Andy.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
But that word is so true, and I feel like there's just more grit to my character after being put through the ringer. So
we melted you down to your essence and built you back up.
in the truest form.
No, I don't think that's the right metaphor. I don't think that's what I'm looking for here. But I will see that person tomorrow, and I will tell that person what you said, and that will make that person very happy.
Please do. Tell her it stuck with me. So
I will. Oh, fantastic. Jordyn, thank you so much for your time and for sharing your story. And I hope that this serves as an opportunity for other students and even just clinicians to I think, explore what the profession can do. I think you said it great. There's no end to what we can do, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm happy to be on here, and thanks for interviewing me, you guys.
You're welcome.
Jordyn Bowman is a third-year student at Grand Valley State University and already a mover and shaker in the physical therapy profession. If you need her to help organize a 5K, she's your person. Waves is a production of APTA Michigan. It is co-hosted by Dr. Catherine Klein and me, Andy Wicks. Editing assistance from Chris Shoemate. Music by Mark Josting. You can find us on social media at APTA-MI Waves or on our website, www.aptami.org/podcasts. Thank you for listening to The End, Reba, and may your documentation always be done on time.